Saskatchewan is now home to the largest helium purification facility in the country. The $32 million plant is owned and operated by North American Helium, Inc. and is located in southwest Saskatchewan near Console. To tell us more about the facility, what this helium can be used for, we're joined now by Marlon McDougall. He's the president and COO of North American Helium. Thanks for your time today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
So why was Saskatchewan selected for this facility?
Well, it's a combination of things. Helium is very rare to find it, and you need a couple of very specific things. So in Saskatchewan, the bedrock is rich in uranium and thorium, and helium is a byproduct of the decay of those two minerals. So in Saskatchewan, some of the best uranium and thorium mines exist in northern Saskatchewan. So that's really the kitchen, if you will, where the helium comes from. And then you need a sedimentary basin to sit over top of it to capture the helium as it migrates and trap it. And that's really where the Williston Basin, or Western Canadian Sedimentary Basin, extends over the top of the helium-bearing rocks, and that's where you trap the helium. And so it sits and is exploited very similarly that you would do for oil and gas by drilling.
Now, a lot of the time when people think of helium, they think of it being used for party balloons, but there's actually a lot of really interesting real-world applications for helium. So maybe tell me how much is going to be produced at this site and what will it be used for?
This site will be about 50 million cubic feet per year. It is our second facility, actually. Our first facility started up in June of 2020. So in aggregate, we'll be producing 60 million cubic feet per year. It's used in a variety of applications, as you said. When you say balloons, that's party balloons, but it's zeppelins, dirigibles, blimps, things like that. But also it's used a lot in medical devices. So every MRI that is out there uses helium. Past that, the industrial area where you've got things like welding and underwater applications, electric vehicles, batteries, things like that. Leak detection on the industrial side is also a heavy user. But the most exciting two areas that are really starting to take off is in the semiconductor chip manufacturing. And you've probably read in the paper where Intel is building $20 billion facilities in Arizona. They're big consumers of helium in the manufacture of semiconductors and chips for computers. As well, SpaceX is another huge one where you've got Musk and Bezos putting significant amounts of money to work in SpaceX. So those are very exciting areas for us. And a lot of that now is being onshored in North America, which, having a secure supply of helium in North America is critical.
Tell me more about the method used to extract the helium and maybe its environmental impacts.
Absolutely. It's very similar to what you would use in oil and gas. So we drill vertically for it. We don't drill horizontal wells. We don't multi-stage frack. We don't do any of those operations. So it's very simple from a drilling perspective. The helium itself is in a nitrogen carrier gas, so significantly different than most helium production around the world, which would be in a hydrocarbon or methane carrier gas. So for us, we have an environmental footprint that's about 1% of what other helium supply would be around the world if you looked at the total carbon footprint of all the constituents in the gas. So that's also very exciting for us, and is something that we take very seriously with respect to our emissions in the environment.
McDougall, the President and Chief Operating Officer of North American Helium, Inc. Thanks again, Marlon, for your time today and telling us more about this facility.
Thank you.